hit the like button. Please, please hit the like button. Okay. I'll turn this off until y'all hit the like button, and then we'll turn it back on. Once y'all start hitting the like button, I'll turn my camera on. I know. I know sometimes y'all forget. That's okay. So only one person that's hit the like button because the rest of y'all are haters. You just want to watch my show. But once we get 7 people to hit the like button, I'll turn my camera back on because it's a lot I want to talk about. Or we can turn it into a podcast where you can just listen to me talk. I know it's frustrating. I know you don't want to hit it. Oh, this cough is good.
Suing the agency after claiming he was fired for displaying.
Only 2 people? Nah, that's not enough. That's not enough. We need more people than that. And I'm almost done with my breakfast, so y'all gonna miss it. When we get at least 5 people to hit the like button, I'll turn my camera on. Ah, this is so good. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. 2 more people. 1 more person. How hard was it? Anyway, well, what's happening? It's raining here at home. It's raining. And it's here in Weatherford, Texas. It's raining. It's a very relaxing day. Kind of cold. Drinking coffee. I'm out of butter. I need to get some butter. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is raining, yeah. Yeah. I've always liked Arlington. I used to do shows in Fort Worth a lot. I used to do shows in Fort Worth a lot. And Arlington. This is back in the 90s, though. Yeah. Well, I made some grits. I don't think they came out right. I mean, they're okay. I forgot to get some butter when I was at the store the other day. It's nothing like grits and butter, okay? So I had to go to the store and get me some butter. Now you have butter and you have margarine. Which one is the real thing? The butter's the real thing or the margarine? The butter's the real thing. I always want to live in Arlington. The city of Arlington has been fighting for years not to have the train or the bus go there. To me, Dallas has Dallas has advanced way more than Houston when it comes to the train and rail system. But you still have a lot of racist people who don't want the train and the rail system to come to their towns. A lot of it has to do with racism. Yeah, they don't want, just like, but I will get Dallas. Well, now they got a train that goes way out. They got a train that goes into DFW now. Yeah. Yeah, they got a train that takes you right into DFW. I think they said it's the Silver Line. My friend drives Dart, so I think he said Silver. Yeah, the Silver train. That's one thing I like about Atlanta. You get off the train, you get on that, you get off the plane, you go straight to the train, take you wherever you need to go. Because usually depends on how we feel when we get to Atlanta. We just get to live. We just get on the train, right? I like it because it's so relaxing. And it's not that many people when I get on the train when I get to town, because we usually get there around about 2, 3. Sometimes before the traffic get bad. And we always stay in Midtown, so by the time we get to Union, by the time we get to West End from College Park, we're almost there. I do like that, and Atlanta does have a great rail system. Oh my God, when I used to live in Atlanta, I had no problems with getting around. And I think even if I had a car in Atlanta, I still wouldn't have rode by my car unless I had to go somewhere to do a show or something. But Atlanta rail system is off the chain. Ooh. I love it. Well, we're going to talk about this later in a minute, but I'm packed. I'm pre-packed. I got to packing last night. I said, wait a minute, do I have everything that I remember? Nope. I got to get at least 2 wigs, 3 dresses, my makeup, when I'm out of town, do my little shows. Because when I don't do my shows, it affects my channel. So I have to do my shows when I'm out of town. If not, it affects my channel. Well, I'm feeling better today for the old ugly fat man that be watching my show every day. They call in and act like he can't breathe. I'm doing much better today. I talked to my internet company. They say some fat man that be breathing hard be calling into your show. I think it affected your channel and affected your it got into your system. If y'all don't watch my show at night, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, he watching. He'll be calling in tonight and telling me, I saw you drinking your coffee. I saw you. But at least he's bold enough to tell me what he's watching, because a lot of y'all are watching me and won't say nothing. Well, y'all, I want to get up and do something, but my son is off all next week. He's coming to pick me up. And can't do nothing in this rain. I'm going to go check my mail, but other than that, it's too rainy to get out and do stuff. Anyway, I want to give an update on the lady, y'all, who got brutally attacked in Chicago. Thank God they gave her a new home and they helping her and her family. This is awesome. This is really awesome. I'm glad that, a lot of times, y'all, when bad things happen to you, good things come out of it. So sometimes when you go through something in life, when you go through some things in life, remember that's not the end of it because something's good. So look what I found at the Goodwill, y'all. I'm gonna give this to my niece. She loves the Cowboys. So a lot of times when things happen to you in life, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but when things happen to you in life, bad, something good will come out of it. It may not be the way you want it to. Like, you ever heard of somebody that lost their leg in a horrible accident, but they became multi-millionaires? Well, I'd rather keep my legs than becoming a millionaire. But at least if you lost your leg and you sued and it wasn't your fault, that, at least you'd be able to probably live comfortable now without no legs, unfortunately, I look at the fact that I lost my club career because of fighting, and I'm gonna tell you why. That was probably no. I'm going to Atlanta, darling. I'm going to Atlanta. I'll be in Atlanta. It's a tradition thing that me and my best friend do every year, and then I spend time with my family for Christmas. Um, and you must be new because I don't cook. They was trying to teach me how to cook rice the other day, so I don't cook. Anyway, a lot of times when I get upset and I get mad about my losing my career behind the fighting and stuff in the clubs, actually that was a blessing for me because I like whenever I would work at the bar, all drinks are free. So I don't drink like me. I'll go out. I may have 3 drinks and I'm done. But you know how some people there's no liquor in my house. Like, I don't go to the store and buy liquor. Only time I am gonna drink is if I go out. I have made 2 or 3 drinks and I'm done. Now, just imagine. I've been working in the club business outside of my other job for over 30 something years or longer. I didn't start drinking though until the late 80s. I didn't drink when I first started going out. But just imagine if I could, even now, if I was still in the bars and drinking every day. Every day I'm drinking. That's not good. That's why I look so young and fresh. Seriously, so it's a blessing that I'm not working in the club. Well, you don't have to drink if you work in the club. No, you don't have to. And like I say, I have my limit. No one's ever had to walk me out of a bar. I was always able to drive my car home after work. So. But just think all the liquor that I've been missing since I don't work in the clubs anymore. That's a good thing. It really is a blessing. So they did me a favor. Because you think if you drink, well, when I first started doing shows back in the early 80s, and then in the 90s, I've been drinking since the 90s, late 80s into the 90s. But like I say, I have me 2 or 3 drinks, y'all, and I'm done. But if you imagine you've been doing that for the last 25, 30, 40 years, that's a lot on your liver. And I just got a doctor's report yesterday and my liver's good. Everything's good. Matter of fact, my doctor told me I was pre-diabetic and she said all that changed. Whatever she saw, I don't be understanding what she said. She told me yesterday, you're doing good. She said, your liver's good. Everything's good. She said, you been exercising? I said, no, I just been trying to eat a little bit healthy because ever since you told me I was pre-diabetic, I've been eating real healthy. She said, well, you need to keep doing what you're doing. I said, thank you. So, I mean, I've had alcoholism does not run in my family except on my mom's side, but it was my grandfather. My grandmother didn't drink though. My mama don't drink. My grandmother didn't drink. My mama don't drink. I don't know about her, my mama's mama, because I didn't know her. But my grandfather, drunk. And he gets so drunk he pee on himself. My auntie, she dead now, baby. She would get drunk and fight everybody. That's why I don't drink, because I get drunk and fight your ass. That's why I don't drink. And but yeah, alcoholism does not run well. Mostly more on my. Well, see, I didn't meet my father's side of the family till later in life, but my sisters don't drink. On my dad's side, my sisters don't drink that I know of. I don't think they do. I've got 6 sisters on my dad's side, 2 brothers, and then on my mom's side, 6 boys and 2 girls. And nobody on my side of the family, not even on my mom's side. My baby sister, she drink sometime, but like we don't have to have a drink. I had a cousin who died. She died from her liver drinking so much, and she was young. She lived in New York, and she wasn't even 50, and she died from liver drinking so much. But she got it from her mom. Her mom drank a lot. That was on my grandfather's side, on my mom's side. But some people I know some people that they just got to have their drink. And they just want to drink. Drink. I can't do it. Some people wake up with a drink. I can't do that. Ooh, it's getting dark outside now. Ooh, y'all, I'm gonna go back and lay down in the bed. But, some people just have to have their drink. Some people just have to have their smoke. Good afternoon. Thank you for speaking, Mrs. Jones. How you doing? Well, Miss Jones, the day is misty and raining and cold. I love it. I love it. And I am pre-packing for my trip to Atlanta. And looking at my neighbor. And speaking of smoking, but I guess when you have that habit, you just can't kick it. My neighbor who I'm looking at now, he has cancer, and he comes out every day and smoke. Every day he comes out and smokes. I'm looking at him now. He saw me looking at him. I didn't know he could see inside my apartment. Oh, no, he's not waving at me. He's waving at somebody else. I said, I know he could look inside my apartment. But he smokes every day. He don't miss a day, don't miss a beat. He come out in the mornings, the afternoons, and eating and smoking. But I'm thinking, you got cancer. But some people they got to have their smoke. But some people just I think about all these people who get good on drugs and stuff. It had to been a divine intervention, y'all. Well, let me ask y'all something right quick. Do y'all want to hear these stories, or do I need to hang up the live? Because ain't nobody saying nothing back to me, or y'all just listening. Because I don't want to force my stories on y'all. Do y'all want to hear the stories, or do I need to hang up the live? Let me know. Okay. Thank you. What you say? You're listening and writing everything down. Maybe I just will never understand why people would want to do hard drugs. Maybe it's something they went through in life. I went through a lot of shit in my lifetime. No, bitch, I wasn't molested. Okay? Hold on, I'm checking something. Something that all kids go through, bullying, but I fight. I used to fight and fight. Like I would fight. I'd fight you. So And growing up, being teasers, being gay and stuff like that, it was a lot, back then, especially in the late 70s into the 80s, it was a lot. So I went through that. Then I went through not knowing who my father was for a long time. Also having a bad relationship with my stepfather, but thank God we cleared everything up before he died. I love that man to death. Yeah, he was my father because he raised me. He was very hard on us because my mama told me that the way my stepdad and them got beat, they got beat just for doing anything, just for whispering. They got beat. But that was probably the way his mama was raised, my grandma. Now, on my daddy's side, who I didn't meet later in life, my sisters and them told me they never got whoopings. And they all turned out great. Boy, my 4 sisters that I know about. One of my sisters I haven't met yet, they live in Austin. But all the rest of them I met. But they all seem to come out, pretty good or whatever the case may be. But when people turn to drugs, I don't know if it's something they go through or I don't know. Like one time I was in Dallas and I seen this guy, he was out on the streets. And whenever you seen this guy, polo, smell good, look good, had a good job, nice car, and he was sitting on the street. I said, boy, what's going on with you? Hey, PT, what you doing down? What's up? You all right? Because a lot of people know me from the clubs, Yeah. I said, well, what happened to you, baby? What happened? How did you get on drugs? He said he used to pick up tricks, male prostitutes, and they would smoke crack. And they would smoke crack. And that's how he got addicted. I just felt sorry for him. I gave him a hug and told him I wish him the best. The last I saw him, he was working at this place that I go to it's like a thrift store in Dallas. It's called Genesis. And I love going there and supporting them because it's for women's shelter. It's a women's shelter. And last time I saw him, he was working there. I think he was doing, probably because he got in trouble or something. Last time I saw him, and I hadn't seen him since. But some people just, I don't know. I've seen people get on drugs and they just go down. I've had 3 of my alleged sons who I encouraged them to move to Atlanta, and I specifically told them, don't do drugs. Don't get yourself involved. So what happens? Joe Nathan. 3 of them, 2 died from doing drugs, and the other one got on drugs, but I guess he's okay. But their lives changed. They didn't listen. Look, I went to Atlanta, I didn't get on no drugs. What made you do it? Like, how can you be a man? Why can you stand up for yourself? Like, that's not what I want to do. Don't y'all know that people did crack? Well, no, not crack. Well, no, nobody did crack in front of me, but my best friends they all dead now, they all did. They used to shoot up in front of me. Sorry, y'all, I'm blocking people. I'm not a girl right now. Okay, so you blocked. I used to watch people shoot up in front of me, one of my best friend and his friends, and I wouldn't do it. They didn't offer it to me, but I just refused. I just didn't want to do it. I'd be dead now. I wouldn't be talking to y'all now if I had did drugs. But I just chose not to. In the last 5 years, I've seen a lot of young people die from drug overdose. In the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they were younger than me. Cocaine, yeah. And then I noticed a lot of people who died from cancer And not everybody who get cancer do drugs, but I have known some kind of way that cancer, that coke and that cancer is some kind, it's connected. I can't prove it, but I've seen a lot of young people get cancer, and I heard they were heavy into cocaine. So it's a choice you got to make in life. You got to either do it or you don't. You gotta make up your mind. Is this what I want to do? Do I want to deal with this when I smoke this crack pipe? It had to have been the prayers of my mom, my father, to keep me grounded and rooted. And even back when I came out sexually, I was never a person who had to have sex all the time and sleep with everybody that because if I was really a sex addict back in the 80s, I'd be dead now. I would have got AIDS and died. I came out before AIDS was even around, so I lived through the AIDS crisis, and I've seen people die every week. Younger than me. And when that AIDS virus came around, I'm like, oh, no, man, bitch. Nope, you got a condom? You don't have no condom? We don't do nothing. I remember it was so bad back in the 80s, I guess this was before HIPAA laws. Never been mean, yeah. I guess it was back before the HIPAA law and stuff, but back in the 80s, I remember them coming into the club and calling out people's names. This was when AIDS first came on the scene. And I was young, and I remember them saying, if your name is so-and-so, we need to talk to you in the club. But they, of course, they can't do that now. That's how bad it was. And I remember I used to see some, I was downtown Houston. This was way before Houston had the train downtown. I mean, this was a long time ago in the 80s when they had the Foley's downtown. Shout out to Foley's. Well, Miss Foley's. And I used to remember I would see somebody, and when they got the AIDS virus, they would get real dark, and their hair would be, it's like, how Indians look? Like, not the Indians, not them Indians, but the Indians, from Pakistan and all that. That's how, when they looked like that, they had the AIDS virus. They had AIDS. They didn't have HIV, they had the AIDS virus. And then a lot of them, their faces were sinking in and stuff like that. And so a lot of people were saying that when you ask, what's going on with you? You look nice, you lost weight. Oh, I'm gonna be a model. That was the thing people were saying, I'm modeling. Or they would say, I have cancer, which is still a form of AIDS, It was bad. It was really bad. And I would see people, and I didn't even want to sleep with nobody no more. It was that bad. But I still did, but I used a condom. Because I thought about my mom. I said, oh my God, I could not get this virus. And my mom, but it was horrible. And a lot of straight people died. A lot of straight people got it too and died. That's how he died from it. And then that you look back on it, my uncle was straight. My uncle died from AIDS. He was a drug addict. My cousin died from it. He was younger than me, but he did drugs. I had the longest talk with him when he first came out. All that just went down the drain. He was my first cousin's son, and she told me years ago when they lived in LA, when they lived in California, she said, yeah, I think he's gay. I said, well, you was my only support coming up. I said, I know you don't want your son to be gay, but if he's gay, then by whatever he is, you better support him because that's your child. And you supported me through everything. And she did for a while. She supported him and everything, but then all of a sudden, he he got saved. Well, he got saved because he got sicker, and the reason why he got sick is because he was still doing drugs. So I guess they thought just because you're gonna get saved that you was gonna get healed. No, you gotta stop doing drugs, homeboy. And see, he don't know. I already knew. I was already getting the teeth from everybody else. He was still messing around and still doing drugs. I don't care how saved you get. If you doing crack, meth, or whatever you're doing, that shit gonna catch up with you. So then from there, he started getting kidney failure, which eventually led to his death. And I wasn't gonna go to the funeral because I was so mad at his mom, my first cousin, because she was so holier than thou. Oh, God is gonna heal him. God's gonna heal him. But she don't know I knew the tea that he was still doing drugs and he was still messing around with me. Younger than me, didn't even make 50. And I had the longest talk with him. When he finally came, I was in Dallas. I was downtown Dallas. And this little boy walked up to me. He wasn't a little boy. He was a teenager, like 19, 18, 19. Walked up to me and said, hey, cuz, mind you, I haven't seen them since they was like 3, 4, 5. They moved away, moved to California. And I didn't know who he was. And I said, who are you? Cuz. I looked at him, I said, it was my cousin. I hugged him, and I said, we need to talk. We need to have a long talk. And he wasn't living where I lived in Dallas, but he came down for Gay Pride. I said, do your mama know? No. Oh, yes, she know. And you need to tell her. I want to move to Dallas. I want to move to Dallas. You can move to Dallas, but you need to move to Dallas and tell your mama what you got going on in your life. She already know, but you need to, because she used to send me pictures of it. She said, I think he's gay. So he moved to Dallas and he stayed with me and I had a long talk with him, but that talk went down the drain. He started hanging out with the wrong people, started doing drugs. I put him out my house and now he's dead. No matter what I said to him, I don't know. But some people just, I don't know. Some people just don't have that willpower to be on their own and do. Y'all, I was watching Lunel this morning. She talked about how she prostituted and everything, and stuff like that. I prostituted when I was young. Yes. But I didn't get on drugs. I'm surprised I did not get hooked on fucking drugs. I am surprised I did not get hooked on drugs. But some people, I guess they don't have that willpower. In and out of cars. But I was so cute. I prostituted with who I wanted to prostitute with. And sometimes I didn't charge them. But could have got killed in the streets, running the streets of Houston. Could have got killed. Could have got murdered, whatever, same thing. But, I didn't. Thank God I didn't. But anyway. But yeah, so some people make it through the hard times and some people don't. Some people they never bounce back. And they just go down, they spiral down once they do drugs or alcohol. Alcohol is just as worse as drugs. Hello, welcome in. No, you don't make it a sometime. Make it all the time. But yeah, some you said yesterday I was dressed as a girl, but God loved you. What? Speaking of drugs, are you on drugs? Hello, Jersey. The fuck did you just say to me? But yeah, so tell you a quick story. Um, when the AIDS crisis, yeah, I'm like, what did they just say? When the AIDS crisis came around, of course, everybody was scared. No, I cannot. I'm a comedian, and that's what I do every night. So, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, this is gonna be my last story. And I gotta go. And when the AIDS crisis came around, let me tell y'all the story. When the AIDS crisis came around, uh, yeah, no, but you can't tell them that. Some of them think I am trans. What? Well, there's a lot of trans with deep voices, so I get it. But anyway, um, I remember when the AIDS crisis came around. Everybody was scared. We sitting around nervous. Who's gonna be next? Da 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 da. And this is a true story. And back then, you didn't know. The only symptoms you knew what AIDS was losing weight, night sweats, and stuff like that. Which I never got any of those things. But I had itching real bad back in the 80s. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. Went to the doctor. Back then, you would have to wait a whole month to get your test results. Um, do a blood test. Didn't have HIV. Didn't have a well. You have the HIV first, and then AIDS. Didn't have that. We didn't know where the itching came from. Didn't know. Didn't know. Didn't know. Didn't know. So after talking to my mom, she was like, "Well, you need to come home, and and you need to get out of Houston. And there's just so much going on in Houston. You need to come home. You need to come home." So I went home. Still had the itching. Didn't know what it was. It was just something all over my body, right? And I didn't know what it was. And so when I got home, no, it wasn't. No, it was itching. It was no rash, no nothing. It was not. It was just something was bothering me, and I thought it was AIDS. But nobody knew really what the symptoms were. Y'all got to remember, this is way before they had all the technology on HIV and stuff like they do now. And I was scared. But once I got my test and know that's not what it was, I still wanted to go home because it was time for me to leave Houston. It was time for me to go. My friends were dying. People were dying. It was time for me to get out of Houston. And I get home, go on with my life, working. I think I was staying with my mom. I think we were staying together. I'm not for sure. But I get home, and one morning, about 2 in the morning, I hear a knock on the door. I mean, a loud knock. It was like a scary police knock. I jumped. Yeah, I was living with my mom. I jumped up and I was like, "Who is it?" It was my dad. He says, "A little bit in there." A little bit was my brother. My mom said, "No, he's not in here." They wasn't. My mom and dad weren't together. They were not together. They were separated. And my dad said, "They say little bit is dead. I'm trying to find out if he in here. They say he died. They say he dead." And about 10, 20 minutes later, somebody drove up and said, yeah, they all got killed in a car crash. And as soon as they said that, my itching went away. God was setting me up to be home with my mother. He was setting me up to be home with my mother, to be there to support my mother. Because at the time, yeah, that's what it was. At the time, my mom and dad were having a bad relationship. And I was the oldest, second to the oldest in the family. And my older brothers were in the military. And I needed to be there to support my mother. And it was God's way of getting me back home to be there for my mom. It was crazy, y'all. I just, what was crazy is my mom had already had the dream, but it was a weird dream. My mom dreamed, she dreamed like I do. She had a dream that it was three dogs that were on fire, and she had a water hose, and she was trying to get them from burning up, and she was trying to get them from, being on fire. And it could have been a month later. It could have been 2 months later. I don't know. I had to ask my mom. But when they died, it was three guys in the car. My brother, another guy, and another guy. I knew one of the guys, but I didn't know the other guy. And she had the dream. She had the dream. It wasn't three guys, it was three dogs. And she tried to put the fire out. And that's what it was. My brother, he was a twin, and he was so unhappy with life after my mom and dad separated, my stepfather. When they separated, he was so unhappy with life. I guess he was so unhappy. For those who live in heaven and hell, maybe God wanted him to be in heaven. I don't know. Maybe he wanted him to be in a better place. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll never know till we close our eyes, right? Because he was not happy. He wanted my mom and dad to get back together again, but that wasn't going to happen. But, now before all that happened, when my mom was living in Houston, what made me move back home and be closer to my mom now is because of all the things that she went through after divorcing my father, my stepdad. And that's why I moved back home, even though I don't like it here, y'all. I failed my mother. I failed her at a young age, between 19 to 25 and 30. I failed her tremendously. And even though I moved on with my life, I moved to Dallas, was working and doing stuff. My mom was doing good. She worked all her life. Always been independent. No shade to anybody on housing, but she never did housing. She never did food stamps. I think she said she got food stamps one time, a long time ago. But she's always worked. She just has a high school education, but my mom worked. She always worked. She kept a job. She never depended on the government for nothing. And so she really didn't need me, and I was trying to find out who I was coming up in the 80s and late 80s. I was trying to find out who I was. And when I was living in Houston, I went to my mom. She told me that's back during the phones. We didn't have no cell phones. She told me to come over. She wanted me to come to the house. When I got over there, she had got into a bad fight with her Jamaican boyfriend. And if I had had a piece on me that day, he would have been unalive for jumping on my mama. Well, my mama could fight. But to see my mom all scratched up and stuff, y'all, I was mad. And I didn't even have to have a piece. I would have just fought that motherfucker for jumping on my mama. But unfortunately, I wasn't there for her. But I guarantee you, after that happened, things changed. And I said, no, I need to be there for my mama. Regardless of her having her beliefs on my life and what she believes about gays and stuff like that, that's still my mama. It's still my mama, and I'm going to take up for her no matter what. So through the years, I felt guilty and felt bad for not being there for her. And even though when I was living in Dallas, she was doing good, so she didn't really need me or whatever. But then, after leaving Dallas and moving to Atlanta in 2009, and then I came back to Texas, stayed in Dallas for a while. She's getting older. I go and visit her, and I said, she's getting older. And I felt bad. And I said, I need to move back home. Even though she didn't need me. She's very independent, but she didn't need me. But I still felt like I needed to be closer to her so that if she needs me for any little thing, I need to be there. You know what I'm saying? And so after leaving, I went to Houston, last year? Then I came back here. But when I went to Atlanta to visit, I had made up my mind, I'm going to Atlanta again to do my comedy stuff and get my stuff, Went down there, picked out an apartment, had a job secure with Marriott, all of that. And I said, God, if you want me to go back home, be closer to my mom, please give me a sign. I went back to that hotel. I had got the application and everything. No, this was me. Yeah. No. So this was, wait a minute. Yeah. So I went to Atlanta and looked at the place and everything, talked to the people, and I had made up my mind. I'm going to Atlanta. God said, no, you ain't. My angel, my spiritual being said, no, you're not. I don't know what it was. Hey, Angela. I don't know what it was. God gave me some type of sign when I got back to the hotel. I think the sign was just a no. Don't go to Atlanta. Don't go. And it all worked out. You know why? Because Angela will tell you, before I met some of y'all, my channel was like just sitting there like this. Just waiting on views, waiting on people to say something, waiting on. But ever since I put Atlanta to the side and thought more of my mom and moved back home, my channel has been growing. It ain't millions of views and all that, but it has been growing. So I believe, and I know in my heart I did the right thing by not moving to Atlanta. Because I feel like this. It doesn't matter where you live at. If you're talented and God has a gift that he wants the world to see, you can live in Timbuktu. He going to expose your gift. He going to make sure everybody see your gift. No matter where you live at. And I'm telling y'all right now, I hate this little town. But when you can hate the town, but you still got to love it. I still love my mama. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. I love y'all. And tonight, I promise y'all, I won't be going nowhere today, y'all, because it is cold outside, raining. Baby, I'm finna roll up in this bed. I cleaned up last night and started pre-packing for my trip to Atlanta. So I done already start packing stuff and getting everything together. And hello. And so I'm pretty much, I won't be fully packed until Sunday because my son is coming to pick me up. He's going to drive me back to. I'm gonna spend 2 days with him in Dallas, and then I'm going to get up Wednesday, get a hotel, and then I'm going to spend the night in the hotel and then leave for Atlanta Thursday morning. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, that's what I was gonna tell you. I promise y'all, I'm not going out to eat nothing tonight. I got food here in the house, and I'm gonna cook today here in my own house, but I'm gonna cook early so that I don't fall asleep during the show. Because last night I don't know what happened. Last night, the first show I did, there was a lot of people in the live, but something happened. It was like a glitch in the internet. It was some type of glitch. And I just lost everybody. So it happens like that. It's the internet. Might have been Trump. Okay. Maybe he was trying to put that $2,000 in my account. I'm gonna do some baked, not baked chicken, but like I'm gonna put the chicken in the thingamajig. Oh, I don't know. I might fry some chicken. No, I don't. I need to eat healthy. I don't know, something. I don't know. It's just something light. Instead of going out to, and I love going out to. When I get my car, y'all can hang it up. I'm gonna be doing mukbangs every day. I'm eating here. Yeah. All right. So I'll see y'all later on. I promise y'all I won't be sleeping tonight, and I'll be ready to do what I need to do to cut up and act the fool. And we already know who calling in. Yeah, the air fryer. And now they tell you. Now they saying the air fryer ain't safe. Like, what is safe? Shit. I'm just gonna go out and start eating leaves. Shit. God damn. Look what I found in the Goodwill, y'all. Oh. So I'm getting some stuff together for my nephew. Him and his wife, his girlfriend, they just had a little baby boy. So I found this. I thought this was cute. I'm gonna get this. Get them a little basket, take $50 over there, say congratulations, and let me see the baby, okay? Let me see little Elijah. And I'll make sure I bring a gift for the little girl too, because they say she hot, baby, because she ain't the baby no more. But I thought this was cute. And just give them $50. And then give them a little card, and be done with it and say, let me see it. Yeah, I thought this was cute. Hopefully this one was 99 cents. But I used my senior discount on Monday, so it was like 50 cents or something like that. I hope I don't break this damn thing. If not, I can go get him something else. But I just thought it was cute. Let's see. Oh shit. Come on, PT. Hold on. I don't want to break this. Hold on. Give him $50. Give him a card. And give him, and get the little girl something too. PT, have you tried to figure out? You know what? People be saying, I tried that, but it has all my personal information on there. I don't want people knowing where I live and all this stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Oh, look at this. Oh. We got to turn it around this way. Oh. Yeah, so this is for my little nephew here. Let me get this. Get him a little $50 card. Give him $50 and something out. This from Uncle. So for those who didn't hear, I got to go after this. For those who didn't hear yesterday, I gave y'all the praise report that they tested my little nephew, the one who if y'all been following me long enough to know him, that he's that short away from being a genius, is what they said at the school. So I'm very happy to report that. So I got to go and give him, I told my mom I was going to give him $20. She said, don't give him $20. Just give him $5. He'd be happy. I said, no, mom, I'm going to give him $20. All right, y'all. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all later on, okay? Unless there's breaking news. Bye. Angela, you know my phone number, don't you? We need to talk about this Amazon wish list that everybody be telling me to get. Do you have my phone number, Angela? Yeah, it should be the same. Yeah. Type it down in the bottom. No, I'm just playing. Okay. Scott Johnson, do you have people in Austin? Because you know, my Johnsons on my daddy's side. Shout out to the Johnsons over there watching me in Austin. I see y'all over there watching me. All right, well, don't hit me up now because I'm finna go to sleep. I'm finna crawl up in the bed and watch the view because I overslept this morning and missed the damn view. Shit. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later on, okay? Bye. Bye-bye, y'all.